Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are back and welcome back to our presentation. Today's topic is really interesting and we will be presenting an amazing island that we created. Members who are participating in this program are me, Mr. Tunes, Mr. Tonmine, Mr. Winner, Mr. Champ, and Mr. Kra. Let's get started. To begin with, we must travel forward to the year 3000. So, are you wondering about why we ended up on this island? To begin with, a new virus known as Initiant spread throughout the planet in the year 3000. Even though the virus was found in India, the first incidents happened in Greece. Why did the first case happen in Greece? Because you just said that, right? That the virus was first found in India. So this virus was created in a laboratory in India. But due to the problem, the virus began to spread. And a Greek traveler visited India, then he returned back to his hometown, which is Greece. Oh, I see. So let's move on to... Wait. Who are you? Oh, sorry. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Professor Tunes Fred Afufwe Fwe Ayatuahu Fwe Afufwe Osas. Pardon? Professor Tunes Fred Afufwe Fwe Ayatuahu Fwe Afufwe Osas. After this virus came out of the science laboratory, it took only 3 months to spread all around the world. This virus has infected almost 97% of the world's population. The scientists realized right away that they wouldn't be able to save everyone who had been infected by the virus. Humans will lose control of their bodies in only 10 minutes after being infected by this virus. Initiant is easy to spread and it can quickly propagate in the air. And so, this virus has a direct impact on muscular system and nervous system. After it enters the human body, humans will firstly gain a great deal of strength, as the virus causes their muscle and bones to become insanely strong. What comes next is that humans require 10 times more protein than what they always eat regularly, so they decided to consume human flesh, because this virus causes humans to lose control of their nerve system, causing them to act erratically. And if they are acting this way, they are now zombies. After that, an organization named SHB, Save Human Beings, created a ship that could hold 7,000 people and announced to the world that in the next 3 days, it was the first and last ship that would carry humanity to small islands to escape from the zombies. Only 5,500 people show up on the day we had been waiting for, and due to the fact that some zombies have entered the ship, the captain has decided to set sail despite the fact that the ship can carry more people. Following that decision to set sail from the mainland, their destination was El Piso, and I will tell you why this island was given the name El Piso later. So, when they got to El Piso, they discovered a group of indigenous people or native people. We can't call them native people because they are simply Greek, who were the first group of people to come on the island first. Because as you mentioned, Greece was the first country to report the virus, and Greek people realized that there was no hope for them if they stayed on the mainland, so they set out to find an island far away from the mainland, separated by the sea. As a result, they arrived at this location. Yes, you are correct. Oh, you again, Professor Fufu Fue Ting. Come on! But still, that was correct, as Professor Fufu Fue said. And it is linked with the name El Piso because the Greeks were the first to arrive. In English, the word hope is translated as El Piso in Greek. See, I told you. Let's move on to our island flag, which you can see right here somewhere. I will put it later. As you can see, our flag is made up of 4 different colors: green, blue, yellow, and white. We chose these colors since blue is the color of the sea, which our island is surrounded by the sea. Green and yellow symbolize hope, which refers to the fact that it was the last island with a human population. Finally, white represents freedom, and our island was created with the goal of prioritizing equality. Next, I chose the eagle as a symbol on the flag because the eagle symbol represents courage. And the word courage in this case represents Greek people who came here first because this island had not yet been discovered, which means they had no idea what was on the island, but still they chose to come here in a small group and managed to survive.
Thank you, Mr. Tunes, for sharing the story about our island. It's pretty terrifying, right, to think that humanity would have confronted a zombie apocalypse. I can't imagine what will happen to my life if I'm still there. Okay, so let's move on to the map. I'll be the one who talks about it. Okay, so here is our island map. As you can see, Tunes will place it somewhere here. Wait, where's the map? Tunes, did you forgot to put the map on?
I don't know. Why don't you ask the editor?
Well, you are the one who is editing this video.
Oh, then, what did I do?
12 o'clock midnight.
This is delicious. Oh, I see. Then here's the map.
Oh, come on, Mr. Tunes. How did you forget? Okay, let's move on. So you can see the shelters of the citizens. So we choose to live there because it's near to where we arrived at the island. And we choose to stay still there. Also that citizens can't get lost because the whole place is a shelter. And we move a little bit out from the coast. So sea natural disaster like tsunami cannot cause major damage to our shelters. Next is the farmlands. The farmland is there because it's near to the water source, and if it's near the water source, we don't need to waste too much effort transporting the water. And next is the government. The government is also placed near to the water source because the government has something to do with water, which will be mentioned later by Claw. And the last part is the factory part. The factory part is placed far from the community because it will generate pollution, which can cause the citizens to suffer from diseases. And the other part of the island is still undiscovered, so we choose to leave it like that until we need more space.
Thank you, Mr. Tanmai, for providing some basic information about our island. Now, let's get to the most fascinating and amazing part, which I will be the one who presents this. Wait, where's my applause?
But how did you know that your part is the most fascinating part? You haven't listened to others yet.
Yeah, whatever. The decision making in the island will be made by the representative by voting.
Can you tell me more about what is representative democracy and why did you choose it?
Okay, so representative democracy is also known as an indirect democracy. It is a type of democracy where an elected person represents a group of people, and a single elected official represents the desire of a large number of people by concluding a limited number of national elections. Countries with representative democracies save time and money, which can then be devoted to other public needs.
Okay, I see. So basically, representative democracy is effective, right?
Yes, you got it right. The government in this island will also involve in the market if some products' costs are too high or too low. If the cost is too high, the government will increase the number of products, but if the cost is too low, the government will decrease the product. The government system in the island is representative democracy, and everyone who wanted to participate will vote for the representatives. People who want to be politicians can just show up and sign up and start working as a politician. Our island's economic goals are to have full employment, basic security, equality for all people, and efficiency in work inside the island.
Hang on there. Why did you pick 4 of these as your economic or social goals?
Oh, come on, Mr. Toons. This is such a common sense. Full employment is an economic situation in which all available labor resources are being used in the most efficient way possible. And full employment embodies the highest amount of skilled and unskilled labor that can be employed within an economy at any given time. And the purpose of security is to protect the people who live on the island. Equality is also important to the island because if there's no equality in the society we live in, there may be a disagreement between 2 groups of people, resulting a protest and possibly violence. And lastly, efficiency is the ability to do something or produce something without wasting materials, time, or energy. Product and service that will be produced in the island are mainly agriculture product, furniture, and product to consume. Now all of it will go through government, then distribute to the citizens by the selected group of people. The uses of land will be divided into 5 types, and first is farmland to do agriculture. Second is living, like it will be like the village for people to live. Third is for industry, which many products will be produced there. Government, and for future use. Our labor in the product will have farmer, explorer, mechanic, teacher, miner to find some ores and stuff for the scientist, fisherman, hunter, chef, physical labor, ship driver, scientist, knitter, economist, doctor, security guard, and our capitals are food. For food we'll have stone pot and maybe wooden knife or stone knife. Fresh water we will have water filter and bigger stone bowl or wooden bowl. Currency will use a shell with a specific sign that cannot be copied as our currency. We'll also have gold, lead, metal, and bronze too. The basic needs that have to be guaranteed for all are water and food. Water will be provided to all by the government, and various food will be sold in the market, like vegetable, some meat that people harvest or hunt. Shelter is also important. Everyone will have shelter in order to protect themselves from the weather, animal, or other dangers, and obviously to sleep. The houses will be built and people will be assigned to their house, and once they make their own money, they can buy their house. The clothes are very important because it can insulate you against both cold and hot condition, and clothes will be produced by knitters and sold in the market. Security is another important feature that the island must have because the danger can come in any form, and the higher security guard in places all around the living area in order to warn the other if there's a bear or tiger or any other dangerous animal came nearby. And that is all for my part, and in the following, Mr. Toons will be providing specific details about our island. Tunes, welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. Kra, for explaining basic information about the island, such as the government and the economy. Now, it is my turn to provide you with additional information about how the government will govern in the island. Our island will be governed by representative democracy. Even though our island is more socialist, the term socialism refers to an economic system in which the means of production are owned by government. Because most of the essential resources are limited, human demands are limitless. As a result, each human on the island will want to keep valuable resources to themselves. To avoid this, we must ensure that the government manages and maintains important resources on its own. And these resources, such as water, food, and land, are divided equally among all people. We also choose to be more socialist because the government will be in charge of setting the price of each good on the market. Since we just arrived on the island, we don't have exact pricing for everything, and we use different currency such as shells. This also relates to why we chose a mixed market as our island economic structure. A mixed market is a combination of the market economy and command economy. We chose it because, as I said before, the government will take control of essential things such as water and food. However, some products can still be owned by private sector, such as materials, gold, metal, and bronze, which are not essential to humanity. In addition, when a new manufacturer wants to start a new business, they must first ask the government for permission, which they must obtain before proceeding. And we all know that the price of each product will rise or fall based on supply and demand from both resources and consumers. If things aren't required, the government will not pay attention. However, the government will have control over limited resources. Let's move on to another topic. Are there any characteristics or beliefs that have an impact on the island's economy? There are some I'm going to say. First, I must say that no one on our island was forced to change their religion or belief, because our island is made up of equality. We are a free society that accepts all beliefs and religions. For example, beliefs that may affect our economy are: people who believe in Islam do not eat pork, which may reduce the number of people who buy pork. People who believe in Guan Yin women do not eat meat, which could reduce meat demand. Weekends also don't eat meat. That is all from me. Witten, can you explain me more about laws and crimes?
Thank you, Tunes, for explaining things that can have an impact on our island's economies. As Toons said, we must pay attention to this group of people because they are still our citizens, and we must ensure that there is equality on our islands. And now we have arrived at the topics of laws and criminal. So speaking of laws, crime, and punishments, right? So on our island, crimes and punishments are divided into total of three levels of crime as follows. So firstly, level one crimes are crimes that doesn't affect the economy and the society that much, or in other words, crime that have minor impact to the society, such as violence among citizens, using resources over the limit, and bugging and stealing resource under 200 shells range. So level one crime will be punished through normal fines and warning, uh, where criminal will have to pay 2 times the price of the resources they stole. So 1.5 times the price will go to the victims of the crime, and 0.5 times the price that the criminal paid will go to the government. So secondly, level 2 crimes. So level 2 crimes are crimes with medium impact to the society, and impact on other physical mental health, such as bugging and stealing over 200 shells worth of products, violence resulting in severe injuries or PTSD, and crimes as follows will be punished by at least 3 months of prison to 6 months, a year, and lastly 5 years of prison at max. And then finally, level 3 crimes. So this is worse. So level 3 crimes are crimes that have a massive impact on the society, which causes many people to suffer. And yeah, so the crimes on level 3 crime are such as murder. That's not good, and rape, or like decimating water sources intentionally. So since the resource is sacred, uh, level 3 crimes is will be punished with over 20 years of prison, or at worst, a death penalty will be given out to level 3.
Hang on there, Mr. Winner.
Yes.
I'd like to know what levels we are in if we lie to the police officer.
So Mr. Toons, you're mistaken. The terms lie cannot be defined in terms of the levels of crimes committed, because it also depends on the topic which you are lying about. So, right?
So what level am I in if I lie to the police officer that I didn't steal anything, but I did steal products under 200 shells?
You'll be in the level 1 levels by this means.
And what if I told the police officer that my friend didn't murder anyone, but he did? What level am I in?
So, Mr. Toons, you'll be in level 2 now because you didn't do it. Even though you didn't do it, but you lied about something so significant, such as killing and murdering people, but also your friends will be in level 3 though, because he did the murder, right?
Oh, I see. Thank you for explaining.
Let us now turn our attention to the opportunity and cost aspects of our island. So opportunity cost refers to the values of a foregone activity when another item or activity is chosen instead. For example, when we choose to give up playing video games last night to practice for today's exam, so that we receive good grades in exam. However, in this case, on our island, citizens' freedom is lost to 1 degree, and great dedication, effort, and time must be applied in order to maintain equity and opportunity cost. Moreover, in terms of full employment, jobs that don't contribute to the society as much as other needs to be employed also, even though the quality of work done might not be the best quality possible, since laborers might not be talented, might not be specified at the work they got.
Alright, Mr. Winner. Thank you for explaining the opportunity cost and legal offenses. Well, I still believe that no one on our island would achieve crime level 3. Okay, so now let's move on. So, as you know, if humans live together, there will be conflicts. And if there are conflicts, there will be problems. Okay, let's take a look at them. Okay, so in our island, the economics and the ecology will be in harmony because we have the laws that limit the amount of resources that can be taken out from the environment per month. This will allow the environment to reproduce and recreate those resources that we have taken out in the meantime and not destroy the environment that much. Another thing is that in our island, the natural resources scarcity is not that high because those stuffs we need in daily life are produced and used in our community itself. So before, I need to mention that we brought some animals with us on the ship and they survived somehow. And so we raise them, feed them, and use them for food and maybe consume their fur, use their fur for clothing and anything else. Okay, so as the time flows, our island faces some problems. Well, these ones needs to be dealt with immediately, so I will be sending out one. So as our population in the island increased quite quickly in a short time, So the consumption rate skyrocketed due to the increasing population. So we decided to execute mainly two actions. So the first one is that we will collect tax from families that have more children than what the government had set at the time. Well, it needs to be the very specific time because the number of children per family set it is up to the amount of citizens or the population in the island at the time. So the second action is that we will, well, as we mentioned before, in our island we use the mixed market, so the government can lay a hand on to the market itself. So we will raise the price of that overconsumed supply if it is considered in the wants part, not the needs part. Because if it's in the needs part, we can do nothing but just increase the production rate. Okay, so if it is in the wants part, we will increase the price as a negative incentive for the people to consume less of those ones. Another main thing is we will try to harm the environment at the least possible, because we will need them for the future generations. Because they're our futures. They will be the one who take care of this community and this island after us, after we are dead, long time.
Okay, thank you Mr. Tomai for sharing the solution to some of the most challenging problems in our world today, such as population and consumption. After listening to you, I believe it is critical to find a solution, because we all know that human pollution grows exponentially when we can find new habitats. So let's go on the second topic, our Iceland dilemma, which is native people. They are not actual native people who live in this Iceland. According to Mr. Jun's speech, later they are Greek people who come to the Iceland before us, because Greek people see that there is no chance for them if they live in their country, which is connected to other countries. As a result, they choose to come to the Iceland first.
Okay, coming up to problem solving, which topic will be about native people. At first, we will leave them alone to observe their action. After they knowing our existence, what will be their reaction? Will they attack us, or they will let us alone? If nothing bad happens, we will try to establish relationships and share some resources. If they agree to have a contract or relationships, but they refuse to share their resource and share our resource, we will let them alone and go on like that. At least there are not problem existing. If they refuse to have a relationship or to have some contracts, we will just let them alone, because we just want a peaceful. If they appear to attack us, we will go on to defensive, and maybe we'll try to negotiate to keep our peace, because our main goal is peaceful.
Okay, so coming up with my second part, which is problem solving about pollution. On our Iceland, we think we need to deal with many pollution, whether it is water pollution or air pollution. So the government decided that all water will be kept by government and will be distributed to the citizens. The solution that will help those pollution first is we will use negative incentive to discourage people to use pesticides or fertilizer, which is really harmful to our water resources, and it really impact our environment. Second is about air condition, which can affect on our air pollution, because nowadays the main problem with global warming also come from the air condition, and the atmosphere can be destroyed by some substance in air condition which called CFCs. Next is all wastewater will be kept in only one place, where that place gonna keep all wasting and will be treat them, and all of them will be sent back to the environment with clean and the citizen can use it again. Next is we will limit the animal per area as a ratio. This solution can help with the wasting on that area, which is not too high, and it is really helpful to manage the wasting. Next is we're gonna use both negative incentive and positive incentive to let the people throw away their trash or their wasting on the set place, which is really help to our Iceland. Next is some negative points about that. First, it will take a long period of time and maybe it can use too long time. Next is it can cause not impress to the citizens, which is the main cause of whether it is protest or some call out. It is very hard to handle with this problem, but surely we can do that. Next is beef price will be more expensive and the price might be skyrocket when it comes to some pandemics or we have some issue with the livestock. The last one is the involvement from citizens. We don't know that all citizens will do that, right? So we choose to have some laws about the pollution laws. And who will doing this for a measure? Surely government will have some policies about it and it will pass through the citizen if they is okay or not, and it will pass back to the government and it will be a law. Finally, and that is our presentation. I hope that everyone want to live in our Iceland peacefully, and thank you.